What is up, everybody? Mark on the mic. Jim to my right. Mr. Ryan Muckenhern across from us. Gentlemen, you know what doesn't float?
Small
Your
rocks,
boat?
pieces of bread.
A lead balloon.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
A duck.
A duck. Thank you for that.
That was fantastic.
Well, I actually forgot what you said now because I'm in Monty
I said
Python.
a lead balloon. That was my lead
yeah.
into what we're doing right
Yeah.
now. We're talking
Yeah.
about another one of Ryan's beloved.
I believe that Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman from the great Discovery Channel program Mythbusters proved, in fact, a lead balloon can float.
That's an episode, huh?
In the air or in water?
I think they did both. It's just a matter of how thick is your lead and how much volume do we have and what are we putting in that.
I mean, it does make sense. I
Yeah.
mean, if you actually made a lead balloon.
Yeah. I may be
sealed
mistaken.
it.
I mean,
Somebody should fact check me, but because Mythbusters has unfortunately been off the air for a long time. One of the greatest programs of my youth.
Love that show.
And I believe they got it up off the ground.
If a cruise ship can float.
Yeah.
Boy, isn't
why
that
a
just
lead
like
balloon
a
can't float.
master? And you look at those things, and they're like it's like a floating building. They're just giant.
You know, you used the car reference in your 16 podcast. I was expecting one to intro this for the cartridge we're going to talk about.
What car would it have been that we would introduce? Should I say the cartridge we're going to talk about?
Obviously a Datsun 280Z.
Oh, yeah, because we're talking about the 280 Remington, not a Datsun.
She's a lead balloon.
Was it not quite as, didn't have the sexy lines maybe.
I bet there was more of those Datsuns
carry
sold than
on.
280s.
That's unfortunate. You know, your boy had one as his last firearm, an M77, allegedly.
Jack O'Connor?
They said that despite his love for the 270, allegedly, the last firearm he had was an M77 and 280.
Really?
Which is all alleged.
Yeah.
Well, he probably had
I pulled
to
a mark.
know.
I pulled a mark, and I looked at Wikipedia before this thing.
Oh,
So, the nice thing about Wikipedia is that anyone can add to it, and so that means that it has to be true.
it leaves a little bit of mystery at the
I've
end
got
of the day.
I've got a Jack O'Connor special downstairs right now. A real 270.
Oh, Ryan showed it to me earlier. It's
when you-
fantastic.
You mean like one that he endorsed and loved, or like one that he owned?
Oh God, I don't own an O'Connor rifle.
I was going to say that would be
Yeah.
But it's a
So accurate representation of.
okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So 280 Remington,
the 7mm 6.
7mm Express.
Mm-hmm. When you say 7.6, it sounds better.
Does it?
I don't think so.
You think 280 sounds better than 7.6?
I don't like anything again, focus group of one. But like Ryan talks about his 338 .6, or if you're going to talk about this in terms of 7mm .6. To me, the .6 is the .6. It's its own thing.
Oh, there's only one.
There is only one, and I feel like for me, like it's like, well, what is it then? You know what I mean? Like a 270 is a 270. They don't say it's the.
I call it a 27-06.
I know you. You do. I don't know. I like things having their own designation.
I understand.
So I can put it in a pretty little box.
Okay. If someone says, "What'd you take out hunting this year?" and then someone responded, "Oh, my .6," no one's going to be like, "Which .6?" Sorry. Everyone's going to assume 30.
Could you imagine the guy that would though?
No, I mean, that's a way to get. I'll believe you get your ass kicked for saying something like that, man.
How big a boy are you?
But 8mm .6, 7. I just think that I think it works. It sounds good. It rolls off the tongue well. That's why everyone wants to put it at the back end. Just it's 7.6. Saying it, Mark .6 rolls off the tongue. Let's be your new screen name, pseudonym. Ryan .6, Jim .6. All of us, everything.
Whatever your name.
Nalgy .6.
Let's talk about the 280.
All right. So what is a 280? A 280 is basically a 270 with a slightly larger 7mm bullet. Now, as I was educated by my hunting partner long ago, 277 actually falls into 7mm territory. It's a light 7, but it's a 7. A 280 is we'll call it a traditional 7, so a .284 bullet put into an .6 class case. And really cool cartridge. I'm not going to say that it was Remington's answer to Winchester's 270 because there's like 25 years difference between those two.
Right. They
had a long period of time to try to knock back the 270, which they simply didn't do. It's a child of earlier than the 50s. So it was commercialed in the 50s, but people have been wildcatting that case, the .6 class case, since its inception, right? And doing other things with it. And 7mm, post World War, technically we got to go back further than that. 7 Mauser's been around for a long time. The bore diameter is not new or novel necessarily by the time that this cartridge had come to fruition. So it was a wildcat, became a factory offering. Brilliant cartridge. It really is a really well-balanced cartridge. And so like standard loadings were like between 140 and 150 grains, right around the 3,000 foot per second average. A 270, conversely, standard loading was a 130 to like a 130 and a 150 at the time. 130 being the speed demon, 30-60 nominal velocity. And you can get them hotter, by the way, but 30-60. A 280 does a 140 into 3,000, like right on it. So you're picking up mass. You're picking up an extraordinarily minor amount of frontal diameter. You did at the time, and things have changed now. So, 2022, 23, we've seen some 270s come to market that are like, whoa, different critter. But at the time, the 7 was a more aerodynamic bullet than the 270. And when I say 7, I'm talking 284. So there was a definitive advantage there. But it was late out of the blocks, right? And so the 270 had been around since 1925. It's been killing game all over the world at this point in time. And it's been doing really good. Very shootable cartridge, very common cartridge. It's certainly probably behind the 30-06 and others that had come out that were in the larger game category.
Well, like you're saying, Ryan, you're approximately 30 years of people using it extensively, tons of great press, and having positive results.
Yeah. That's tough. That's tough to beat.
You're you're going uphill a little bit against something like that.
And it kind of reminds me of the movie Spinal Tap, where they get into the debate over the volume level on the but it's one more. It's 10 more. So 270, 280, it's 10 better.
When I first became aware of the 280, I was somewhat enamored by. I was like, they improved the 270. It's one more.
Yeah,
it's better. It's more. It's better.
Yeah,
like that's because I wouldn't have known even at the time why 270 was called a 270.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, they've improved the 270. They have the 280 now.
Yep.
Did it ever occur to you that there's a 30? I'm just curious if that kept.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I had a 30. I had a 30-06.
Sure.
Right.
But so a cartridge designed for like medium game. So like think pronghorn, whitetail, mule deer, probably elk.
Sure.
Mountain sheep, mountain goat. With the right bullet, you can absolutely kill the very big cervids, the moose. As gentle to shoot as a 270 with a little bit more of a performance advantage, but I think doomed from the beginning because it was late. And then they got really weird with naming convention. It wasn't doing well. And so the brilliant minds at Remington said, I've got an idea. It has not gone well.
It's not the cartridge, it's the name.
It's the name.
Let's change it to 7mm Express.
Which I like. Actually, of them, I like that one.
Classy.
But it's not right because when I hear Express, I think South African with big hairy forearms shooting gigantic dangerous game rushing at him.
And I believe that might have been the thought. But here's the problem. It was, at the time, So 1960s 7mm Remington makes it to scene. We have 7mm Remington. We have 7mm Remington Express. Wildly different cartridges.
Yeah,
Right.
those are.
Wildly
Because
different.
it get kind of confused with the Remeg, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 And then you have the 7mm08 in there as well.
Yep. And
Dixie the dog just sneezed. Bless you, Dixie.
Oh, she doesn't care for it either.
yeah. So 7 Express, hindsight being 2020, I look back at my youth when I used to work behind the counter in a gun shop. I sold a couple of guns marked 7 Remington Express. I should have bought them
Right.
because they're hard to come by. They're a 280. Same thing. It
like
just
you
says
could load 280 ammunition
it is
into
the
them.
same. It is the same gun.
Yeah.
So a 280 is a 7 Remington Express. A 7 Remington Express is a 280. That did not go well. That was worse. That was like, oh man, it's hard to look away.
When you already have a hard enough time getting recognition because you're late to the game, and then people finally maybe start to, oh yeah, is it 280? Then you change the name?
Yeah.
That's marketing 101.
It was like an artist trying to rebrand themselves.
Oh, yeah. Like, oh, or even the painting is already painted, but you're like, no one's at my art exhibit, so I'll just change the painting.
Yeah, it's not good. And then that
When did we get into art?
was probably one of the coup de grace, save for a couple of really smart rifle builders who knew what the cartridge represented from a ballistic standpoint and knew that it's eclectic enough that when you see it, it inspires a little bit of, I don't know, like,
Je ne sais quoi.
okay. So
Wow.
one of the coolest 280s I ever
1970.
saw was a Hill Country rifle, Jarrett rifle, 280. I'm trying to remember what the name of this company is. No longer around. Can't at the moment. A kind of an upper end upscale. Well, Dakota number 10 and 280 is infinitely cooler than a Dakota number 10 and 270. The 270 just becomes blasé. The 280 somehow is just like, oh, there's a sex appeal to that thing that's like considerably higher. It morphed into a chambering that when somebody had it, they must know what they're doing. They must be an expert because they know, like, they've unlocked the secrets of metallic cartridge performance, and they know that the 280 is in fact the better but underdog chambering.
So when I think of that person that you're describing, that's the owner of a 280 AI.
Nah, it's different for me. And I'm a 280 AI owner. So a 280 AI is a nerd that understands at a high level exterior ballistics and knows what they can do with an .6 class case powder charge. 280 standalone is like just an aficionado's cartridge.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see the
Yeah.
distinction there.
Yeah.
I find 280 is approachable, but slightly intimidating. Whereas 280 AI is like, I'm going to have to hear a diatribe about math and physics, and
Yeah.
I'm just not going to
Yeah.
go down that road.
So the
Like
cartridge,
if a person had a 280, you'd be like, he's mysterious.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct. So the chambering today, it's still
do that?
Dark and mysterious.
it's still a relevant chambering, but not in regular guns.
Well, and then nobody's chambering 280s.
No, you don't go
right?
buy a Tikka or a Bergara or a
Right.
Winchester or Savage in 280. Occasionally, you'll see a company like Winchester or a company like Savage release like a SHOT Show edition rifle,
Okay.
280. And it's just kind of like, that's upscale, right? Just a little kind of,
Well, and a person knows it's going to be a little bit obscure and a little bit, what's the word that I'm looking for?
Could it be je ne sais quoi?
No. I think when I said that, it was from a movie. They say that in a movie
Okay.
somewhere. I shot a 280 one time.
sure.
And tell me this, Ryan, and it could have just been the rifle's form factor. I can't remember. It was either just like a synthetic stocked Browning A-bolt. I think that's what it was.
Wouldn't be surprising for you.
It wasn't mine. It's not mine. I found it to be incredibly snappy and unpleasant to shoot.
It's a powerful cartridge. It really is. I mean, like I said, it's It's tacking on mass with at least equivalent velocity to a 270.
Yeah.
And so as we've learned through like cartridge talks and doing, recoil calculations and things, mass and velocity equal recoil. So yeah, it's definitely more. It's less than an 0.6, right?
Maybe it was just the form factor of I just recall being
Sure.
like, this thing is hitting me quite hard.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm not afraid of, I like shooting 30 cals and
Sure.
0.6s and 300s. And
This is true, Mark.
So here's where things.
I don't know.
I want to say
that was a standout thing. I was like, I don't
You can
like.
put up with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
where things went further south for the chambering was the 7mm 08,
Mm-hmm.
which, while unfortunately often lumped into a category as a women and children's cartridge, really effectively duplicated the performance. And you did so in the smaller case with even less recoil, in a lighter rifle, shorter rifle, and all the other attributes that people go on about with an 08 class case.
Was that the nail in the coffin of the 280?
I think when you might have had your curious yet uninformed consumer looking at the back of the box of 280 Remington, the back of the box of 7mm 08 Remington, they're like, "Oh man, that's close. I guess I'll take the lower recoil, shorter, lighter one." Perhaps. Now, spawn of the 280 AI, which was SAMI'd some time ago now, and in some circles is considered like a magic cartridge. Like, it is unlocking a level of performance that was previously only reserved for cartridges like 7 Rem Mag or 7 Short Action Ultra Mag, which is, that in itself is a very leadish balloon. 280 AI has a fair amount of tenacity behind it, and it's a really remarkable cartridge. Factory chambered now, factory loaded. Barnes just released another 280 AI onto the market, 152 grain LRX. Federal has their terminal Ascent loading, absolute demon of a bullet. And there's a couple other companies, Nosler, that offers a 280 AI, Hornady in their Precision Hunter, and they make 280. Hornady does anyways. I use some for fire forming because it costs less than 280 AI. I just wanted the brass. So 280 AI displaced it, like in modern times. James.
Okay. I was going to ask for a point of clarification.
Yeah.
We have had many cartridge talks now, and I think the last time that we explained what SAMI'd meant was many moons ago. We might have some new listeners real quick. So when you say the 280 AI was SAMI'd some time ago now, that means what?
SAMI is a regulatory body that makes sure that a cartridge, if it's to be commercially loaded and sold, meets certain criteria that make it safe to be chambered in a factory rifle.
Yes, and SAMI is SAMI, not like your little brother Sammy or something.
Yeah.
Also short for sandwich.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Just to clarify.
So 280 AI, Ackley improved, kind of, I don't know, quietly killed. Not quietly. It came in hard.
Wasn't it already gone?
It was hanging on.
It just needed that one more kick to the finger that was, on the ledge.
just.
Yep. And then that doomed the 280. I think firmly put it into obscurity. Now, I still see modern rifles builders, not factory produced guns, in 280, and they still have the same allure and romance that those rifles of my youth when I'm going through, the Field and Stream or the whatever, and I see this. Oh, here's this beautiful Jarrett. Set up, and oh gosh, it's gorgeous. 280 Remington, really cool. That's still real. That's still a thing.
Well, and ballistically, like it does an absolutely fine job.
Yeah, it's a great cartridge.
It's kind of doing 270 things. It's kind of doing 0.6 things.
But there's so many cartridges in that.
That's true.
That's probably part
and
of
I
its
think that
problem.
that's definitely part of its problem. You could probably,
I'm just saying, either anything you wanted to do with those two cartridges, you could also do with the 280.
Yeah, correct. Or conversely, anything you think you can do with the 280, you can also definitely do with a 270 or a 30-06.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean.
And go downtown and buy your ammo for it.
Right.
Yeah, if you're not a metallic cartridge reloader. It's cool gun. I've often thought I should get a standard 280 because I have an AI. That rifle's a sweet gun, shoots great, absolute pain to tune.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Which one? Your AI?
My AI. Yeah.
I remember when you first brought it up that you were an AI owner, I was like, why didn't he shoot that again? And I couldn't remember. I thought it was like, something's weird about that gun.
Something is weird about that gun.
Yeah.
It just requires an inordinate amount of attention.
But that just makes sense for being an AI.
It doesn't have to.
But I also can't imagine with the stigma that AI has around it in my head, I can't imagine someone who owns an AI who like doesn't know anything about it and they're just sort of like, I don't know, I just bought ammo, it shoots great. Actually,
with some of these factory guns, that's like Weatherby, Mark V, Nosler M48, and I think they might make an M21 in it. Savages, Bergaras, and I think that's kind of the ones that I've been. Oh, and Brownings, X-Bolts.
Were the Kimbers?
They're all pretty.
The Kimbers were available.
Mountain Ascents. That's on the threshold of reasonable in that gun.
I would think. Yes.
Yeah, they're that's getting a little spicy for a rifle of that weight class. But I know of quite a few folks that have just bought the off-shelf guns and bought a box of Precision Hunter, bought a box of Terminal Ascent.
I guess time has passed since I made my last judgment of 280 AI owners.
And then these guys are like, dude, the chronograph doesn't lie. Like that thing's ripping, and it's a spicy cartridge. 280, considerably more mundane in comparison.
Jim, you're getting old enough now that you're like, well, I looked into that 20 years ago. No chance something has changed.
You're right, Mark. That's actually pretty spot on with how I feel after that comment. Yeah.
280 Ackley improved. 168 grain ABLR. Know something thing too about that bullet. How's 2950?
Impressive.
280.
Is what it is.
Yeah. 2950 is no joke. 280 standard, same bullet. Looks like an average of about 2750. Not even.
Wow.
2675.
Wow.
So, yep, you will
Marked
pick up
improvement in velocity there.
I'll make a correction. About an average of 2900 with the 168 ABLRs.
Still though.
Yeah. So you're picking up considerable horsepower. And then it really does turn into a completely different cartridge at that, because it's a completely different cartridge. Totally different body taper, shoulder angle, the whole shebang. One of the most endearing, if not the most endearing, Ackley, the 280 AI is.
With the regular 280,
it
sounds like the neck was pushed a little bit forward to mitigate putting 280s in the wrong
Mixing it
firearm.
A little bit.
Smart move.
Yep. So what Mark's getting at is accidentally dropping a 280 and a 270, cataclysm. Accidentally dropping a 280 and a 30-06, less cataclysmic.
Not optimal.
No. But yeah, you don't you can allow yourself, we shouldn't do that again. If you were to do 280 to 06,
right.
You're not, there's no going back.
The thought is different if it's the other way around.
Yeah.
The thought is, am I still here?
Yeah.
Is this heaven?
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's that, 280. It's a great cartridge. It's a lead balloon.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd say, by and large, every time we talk about a quotation mark lead balloon, the cartridge itself is just fine.
Just fine.
The numbers are just fine.
Yep.
Performance fine.
You know what? I'll say that too about the Ackley. It's commercially available, but it's 7 PRC smoked it. 6.5 PRC smoked it.
People still love it.
Have there been any lead balloons that we've talked about that like actually were just like bad?
There's been a couple.
There's a few on the list that we need to get to. The list is long.
And we say a lot of times we go into the lead balloons and we're like, it's really not that. I mean, there's stuff that's better now, but it wasn't bad back then. You know what I mean? But like there have been some that were just like, it came out and it was like, whoa, I don't know how anybody let that one fly. Yeah. That had to have been the owner's kid that designed that one on a napkin. And then,
what are you saying?
I'm not saying that's happened here before.
I'll give you one. 22-250 E-Tronics.
Oh, wait. Now, hold on. That's one that we've said it would be pretty cool if they actually did it right, but they didn't.
No. Cold out? Not today. You shooting your coyote rifle in the cold? Nope. Your battery die? Yep.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Did you lose the key to turn your rifle on? Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. No, you can't use regular primers. It doesn't have a firing pin.
Oh, wow.
Some of the things you just said sound like they could prove problematic.
And in fact, they did. Yes. The E-Tronics.
Oh, what an idea.
It's pretty neat. 6mm Remington. Well, no, that was a great cartridge. Just wrong twist, metric at the wrong time. That was a good cartridge. Lazzaronis were requested. I got actually from one of our great coworkers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's they're still hanging in there. Laz is still putting rifles out. There was factory chambered Laz Sacos and factory chambered Laz Savages.
So that one is like a fine cartridge, but like just what?
Massive cartridge. Diminishing returns. Very high cost of operation. Yeah. Yeah. I would say a lot more in the pistol realm.
Okay.
Yeah. 327 Federal Magnum.
Bad.
Problem looking for a solution.
Okay.
So it's in the same size revolver as a 38 Special.
Yes.
It is about the same power as a 38 plus P plus. It's an eclectic case and bore diameter, and it's got a smaller bullet. 25 NAA, 32 NAA, bottleneck pistol cartridges for mouse guns in 25 and 32 caliber respectively.
I like it.
30 super carry. That's a goofy one.
It's like I pushed a snowball at the top of a mountain.
Right.
We can go on.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
280 Remington.
those are some that we might, the ones you just talked about, maybe we'll talk about those at some point. But for now, we'll tie a little bow on the 280 Remington.
Yep.
Ryan, like you
Great,
just said.
great round.
And yeah, let us know. Do you own a 280? You like it? You love it? Do you ever even think about it?
I bet the folks that have them really enjoy them because they probably bought them for the right reason. Because it's a damn fine cartridge. It just never got what it should. A couple of them that I let get away: Remington 700 Mountain laminate stainless 280 Remington, great gun. Remington 700 Tie 280 Remington, great gun.
Ooh.
Remington 700, the CDL, the edition guns where they would release them.
Trucker model.
Yes. 280. Great gun. Dare I say it, Ruger Model 77 280. I don't like those guns, but they were an aesthetically pleasing gun.
That's what old Sling and Rick has in 270, right?
270.
Yeah, he's got a 77.
I will say that thing is an absolute
Does shoot
hammer.
quite well. Yeah.
I think that's the gun we shot when we did like 270 versus .6. And both kinds of I mean, that's like not a new gun.
No.
I don't think
Gun's older than
I don't think Rick's treated it with a
No care.
a level of care.
No.
I tried whatever two ammos we tried. It was like boom, bullseye. Grab the other kind. Like they were not even. Maybe they were both one. I don't know. Whatever. They're just completely different offerings, and boom, I was like, okay, this gun shoots.
That gun is, I think Rick hangs out with it like at the bar. Not like drinking and shooting and whatever, you just responsible safety police. But like, I think that's just how he treats it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that he just kind of like, he
old friend.
tells jokes with it. They like fart and laugh, and like he punches it in the arm sometime just to be a jerk. But like, that's just how him and his gun, their relationship is.
They're in sync.
Then they go shoot deer together.
Then they go shoot. Yeah, he treats it like a bar buddy.
All right. Do you treat your 280 like a bar buddy? Let us know. Bye.
See you.